Hello everyone, this is a mishmash process video vlog that I was able to scrounge together during my 8-week summer intensive of my first semester of graduate school. This is a piece that I'm working on for my second critique that took place during the summer. The first critique being 4 smaller fabric paintings, this one being a massive one. Some of my parameters that I was working with during the summer intensive was the idea of abandoning the stretcher bar, challenging my normal practices of a square and a stretched canvas, breaking the boundaries of space, seeing how big I can make something, and challenging what a painting can be. This piece was really hard to start and daunting. It was just a huge piece of drop cloth hanging up on my wall. The size is so bigger than I've ever worked before, but also the material was really challenging, the fabric in itself, and I wasn't really doing a lot of painting. I was more so learning how to paint with fabric, and I was also messing around with dyeing the fabric, tearing up, painting it, sewing it back together. A lot of sewing. Here we jump to a week later. I worked on it a little bit, found some scrap fabric in the textile department, pinned it up. And I was really playing with the idea of what would happen if it was on a corner. So I was also very interested in engaging the viewer more so than a painting. I'm just messing around with orientation, and that's basically the whole thing with these fabric paintings, is just moving stuff around until it looks good, and then moving it around more to make it even more dynamic and interesting. A lot of questioning. I had a lot of feedback going on during these 8 weeks. Every week we had a visiting artist that would come to our studio and give us feedback, and then we also had our professors rotating that came in every week and checked in with us and pushed us further, made us question a lot of things. So, and also my peers, my cohort, are some really lovely people that have some good ideas as well. A lot of good feedback. And then this is a massive jump. Literally, we jump really far forward in time. So this is me installing the final piece for my second critique of the summer intensive. It was, I think I pulled this together within like a week and a half, and it moved around a lot. And these fabric paintings, they are temporary, so every time they move they change, and this one was quite frustrating to move, in particular because of the size of it. And then I'm adding on the masking tape background, which is something that I developed over the intensive to bring more dynamic to the piece, but most importantly grounding it within space, rather than just letting it float within the wall. It's kind of like my quote-unquote stretcher bar without actually having it on the stretcher. detail shots. And then at the end, I started to play with these spiral fabric pieces that I cut out. I just thought they were more interesting, and I was really trying to push and pull the volume of the piece. There is chicken wire behind the fabric up against the wall, and like this piece on the right, I ended up doing studies of my previous 4 paintings of the folds, and then I incorporated it into this final piece and turned it itself into folds. Yeah, a lot of hand sewing, honestly. And that pale yellow piece is part of a billboard from one of our visiting artists. It was really fun. But as you can see here, not so much painting, but more so organizing of materials. It came out to be around 9 feet by 6 feet tall. So it was really long. And then after a week of having it up and having my second critique, you take it down. You take the whole thing down. There you go. It's just a ball of fabric. Isn't that crazy? And then all this masking tape too. It's a bit of a wasteful process, so if I ever do that technique again, I will try to figure out a different way to do that. And that's it. Thanks.